Hello students, I am Dr. Mrs. Manjula Prasad, Associate Professor and HOD Physics, Mahila College, Chaibasa. Today we shall discuss some properties of timer IC555, block diagram and working principle. The learning objective of this lecture is first, general information about IC555, second, salient features of IC555, third, applications of this timer, 4, pin configurations and its use, and 5, functional block diagram. So IC55 timer, what is this? This is a kind of IC, you know, because its name is IC555. It was introduced in the year 1970 by Signetic Corporation US and with the name SE/NE555 timer. The standard IC555 includes over 20 transistors. It may be 23 transistors, 25 transistors depending on the manufacturing company, and 2 diodes and 15 resistors on a silicon chip. It is called IC555 because of its internal circuit. There are 3 5 kilo ohm resistors used in the IC and hence the name IC555. The resistors are connected in series and are used as voltage dividers. IC555 is available as an 8-pin round metal can or an 8-pin mini DIP, DIP means dual in package, or a 14-pin DIP. But the most common one is 8-pin IC555. It is a highly stable device and its cost is very low as compared to other ICs. So now we shall discuss salient features of IC555 timer. First, it operates from a wide range of power supplies ranging from plus 5 volt to plus 18 volt supply voltage. Second, sinking or sourcing 200 milliampere of load current. Third, the external components should be selected properly so that the timing intervals can be made into several minutes along with the frequency exceeding several hundreds kilohertz. Four, the output of an IC timer is compatible with CMOS, DTL and TTL digital circuits, about which I have told you earlier, when it is used with appropriate supply voltage. Fifth point, it has a temperature stability of 50 parts per million per degree Celsius change, that is, it has or equivalently 0.005% per degree Celsius. 6. The duty cycle of the timer is adjustable. 7. The maximum power dissipation per package is 600 milliwatt and its trigger and reset inputs have logic compatibility. 8. A rise and fall time of 100 nanoseconds. So you find this is a very small quantity, so it is a very sensitive timer. Applications of timer IC555. It can be used for various applications in industrial and domestic appliances such as washing machines, TV, etc. to provide time delays from a few microseconds to several hundreds of. It is useful in the field of medical and instrumental electronics. It is used in voltage regulators. Fourth, it is used in monostable, bistable and astable multivibrators. It is used in square and triangular wave generators, ramp signal generators, etc. It is used to design anti-theft alarm, automatic lighting system, etc. It is used in tachometer. Tachometer is an instrument which measures the working speed of an engine, especially in a road vehicle, and control device. So there are some of the uses which I have mentioned. It is a very useful device and very sensitive device also, I can say. Now we shall discuss pin configurations and its use. The 555 timer comes in two packages. First, a round metal can called the T package, and second, the more familiar 8-pin DIP capital V package. Figures are shown below, and you see in both the figures there are 8 pins, and so far their specifications or configurations are considered. They are same, because the first pin represents the ground pin, second one is trigger, third is output, fourth is reset pin, 5 is control voltage pin, sixth is threshold terminal, 7 is discharge terminal, and 8 is plus VCC, that means power supply terminal. In order to understand the uses of different pins of IC 555, let us first consider the functional block diagram of timer IC 555 shown in the figure below, because unless we consider this figure, we won't be able to understand the uses of the different pins. So in the functional block diagram, you see there are two comparators C1 and C2. Minus plus represents their polarity. Then there are three resistances R1, R1, R1. They have been shown by, and each R1 is equal to 5 kilo ohm. Then there is a flip-flop, RS flip-flop, and the different pins which have been connected to this IC timer are shown by numbers. You can identify which pin is being attached or connected to which component. On the side I have shown the RS flip-flops truth table also. As you know, RS flip-flop, there are 4 conditions which are possible in this RS flip-flop. If R and S both are 0, then in that case no change occurs in the action. Second one is if R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 1, in that case this Q becomes 1, and so automatically Q bar will become 0, and this is known as set condition. The third one is R is equal to 1, then S is equal to 0, so Q will be 0, then Q bar will be equal to 1, and this is known as reset condition. The fourth one shows you R is equal to 1, S is equal to 1, and Q bar have been represented by star, because this is an invalid condition, or it is known as race condition. So the fourth row actually does not give you any practical, or I can say which conditions should be considered. Now let us see how this functional block diagram explains the working of this IC timer. So if you observe the diagram, you find that on the upper comparator, that is comparator 1, their 2/3 VCC has been connected to minus, that is the inverting terminal of the comparator C1. And on the lower comparator C2, VCC by 3 has been connected to plus terminal of C2, that is non-inverting terminal of C2. So if we consider their performance, we find that, as you have seen, it consists of two comparators, which are basically two op-amps, a RS flip-flop, discharge transistor Q1, and a resistive voltage divider string, which you have already seen in the diagram. The voltage divider consists of 3 equal resistors, each of equal to 5 kilo ohm. The voltage divider sets the voltage at the inverting terminal of the comparator C1 to 2/3 VCC volts, and the voltage at the non-inverting terminal of comparator C2, that is the lower one, to 1/3 VCC. The reset, threshold, and trigger inputs control the state of the flip-flop. If the reset input pin 4 is low, the Q output of the RS flip-flop is low. Consequently, Q bar goes high and the current will flow through the base of the transistor Q1 and it is switched on. And this will provide a path for an external called triggering capacitor to discharge its voltage. If the reset is high, then Q bar will be low and the discharge transistor will be cut off. If the reset is not in use, then it is connected to plus VCC so that it does not affect the state of the flip-flop. If the trigger input is lower than VCC by 3, then the output of C2, that is equal to S, because it has been connected to the lower part of the RS flip-flop. So it is equal to S, input to FF will be high. As a result, Q will be high, so Q bar will be low and the Q1 transistor will be off. On the other hand, if the threshold input, that is pin 6, becomes greater than 2 by 3 VCC, the output of C1 will be high, that is R is equal to 1. So naturally S will be equal to 0, that is Q bar will be high and Q1 transistor will be on, providing a discharge path. So in this way, the working principle of IC 555 can be explained in short. I am not going in detail because we will discuss the different kinds of multivibrators, and there we will consider the principle or the function in detail. Now, so let us understand the use of each pin in IC 555 as explained below. These pin numbers refer to the 8-pin DIP and 8-pin metal can packages. The figures have been shown earlier on the previous page. So pin number 1. Pin number 1 is ground pin, and this you can verify from the block diagram which I have given you. This pin 1 is a ground pin which is used to supply a 0 voltage. That means it is connected to earth. So 0 voltage to the IC. All the voltages are measured concerning this terminal. The negative terminal of the battery or power supply is connected to this pin. Pin 2 is trigger pin. Pin 2 is a trigger pin which is used to convert the flip-flop from set to reset. This pin is an inverting input of a comparator, that is minus polarity, with minus polarity of the comparator. The output of the timer depends on the amplitude of the external trigger pulse applied to this pin. A negative pulse with a DC level greater than VCC by 3 is applied to this terminal. In the negative edge, as the trigger passes through VCC by 3, the output Q of the lower comparator becomes high and the complementary of Q, that is Q bar, becomes low. Thus the IC 555 output gets a high voltage and thus a quasi-stable state. Pin 3 is output terminal. Output of the timer is available at this pin. There are two ways in which this pin number 3 can be connected. One way is to connect between output pin, pin 3, and ground pin, pin 1, or between pin 3 and supply voltage VCC, that is pin 8. The load connected between output and supply pin is called the normally on load, and that between output and ground pin is called normally off load. Pin 4 is known as reset terminal. Whenever the IC is to be reset or disabled, a negative pulse is applied to pin 4 and thus it is named as reset terminal. The output is reset irrespective of the input condition. When this pin is not to be used for reset purpose, it should be connected to plus VCC to avoid any possibility of false triggering. Pin 5 is the control voltage terminal. The threshold and trigger levels are controlled using this pin. In most of the applications of IC 555, the control voltage pin is not used. Therefore, the control voltage is at 2 by 3 VCC, reference voltage produced by potential divider arrangement using 3 resistors of 5 kilo ohm. Because if you observe the resistance, that is a potential divider or voltage divider, it consists of 3 resistances. So if you take R1 plus R1, then if you take the first half 2, then it will give you 2 by 3 VCC, and the lower half will give you VCC by 3. By connecting a resistor or potentiometer between pin 5 and ground, pulse width output voltage can be varied. When not in use, the control pin is bypassed to ground with a 0.01 microfarad capacitor to prevent any noise disturbance. Pin 6 is threshold terminal. This is the non-inverting input terminal of comparator 1, which compares the voltage applied to the terminal with a reference voltage of 2 by 3 VCC. The amplitude of voltage applied to this terminal is responsible for the set state of the flip-flop. When the voltage applied on this terminal is greater than 2 by 3 VCC, the comparator 1 switches to V saturated and the output gets reset. Pin number 7 is the discharge terminal. This pin is connected internally to the collector of the transistor, and mostly a capacitor is connected between this terminal and ground. It is called discharge terminal because when transistor saturates, capacitor discharges through the transistor. When the transistor is cut off, this capacitor charges at a rate determined by the external resistor and capacitor. Pin 8, that is supply terminal. A supply voltage of plus 5 volt to plus 18 volt is applied to this terminal with respect to ground, that is pin 1. So in short, we can remember the three possible cases of flip-flop in the functional block diagram of timer IC 555 as follows. Case 1. VTH greater than 2 by 3 VCC and VTR greater than 1 by 3 VCC. I think you understand VTH means threshold voltage and VTR means trigger voltage. So in this case output is 0, so Q bar is equal to 1, and so the pin 7 and pin 1 is short circuited. Case 2, if VTH is less than 2 by 3 VCC and VTR is less than 1 by 3 VCC, then output is 1, so Q bar tends to 0. So you understand 1, that means logic state 1, 0 also represents the logic state 0. In this case the pin 7 and pin 1 is open circuited. Case 3, if VTH is less than 2 by 3 VCC and VTR is greater than 1 by 3 VCC, then the output is in memory state, that is in the case 00 state, no change state. So this is for, so here I end my lecture. Thank you.